Next, let's go ahead and create a Fusion Multiview drawing. So yes, you probably learned how to manually do multi-view drawings through actual manual sketching. It is an important skill, but it also takes a lot of time. So sometimes instead of that, we want to use our digital tools to create our multi-view drawings. So again, there are slides on this that you are likely to have gone over directly in class, but this tutorial might still help you to revisit. So let's go ahead and walk through it. So we have our object that we created in our original walkthrough. And let's say I want to go ahead and create a drawing of this. We can create the multi-views. We want to see everything. So to do that, you want to go over to Design and then Drawing from Design. First, I have to save it. Let's just go ahead and save it as something. Make sure you know where it is too. And this menu will come up to create your drawing, where you can just double check all of your settings here. We want to use ASME standard, the units that you want to use. For me, that's inches. I'm going to go ahead and change the sheet size to A, just for regular printer paper size, and click OK. Sometimes it takes about 8 years to load into a drawing, depending on the computer that you have. Oh my God, AI assistant, please leave me alone. Please, I'm begging you to leave me alone. Okay. And then it shows you here your drawing sheet. Now, because I got angry at the AI assistant, I don't have like the actual part, as part of my mouse. Usually when you come in, like it's already holding the part and you just kind of have to like drag it. So we will have to do it manually, but that's okay because everything you need is right here. Create base view. This is going to show us our front side view. So when I have it, I'm not like holding the right click or left click down or anything. I'm just dragging it around. And since this is the front view, I'm going to go ahead and I want to place it around like the bottom right corner-ish, bottom left corner, excuse me. I guess I don't know my left and rights today. And in our multi-view drawings, as you remember, our drawings are not shaded. Right? So you want to make sure that you are selecting the style that you want, as you want visible and hidden edges. You can select different styles and everything too. But you want to make sure that you have that so that when you add dimensions and everything to it, you can see all of the lines and the hidden lines and things. So if we click OK, that's what we see. We see center marks and lines. Again, if you bring up the drawing view by double clicking, you can select these things, like center lines, round cuts, whatever you want to see. So looks great. But now we need to also see the top view and the right side view, as well as our isometric, right? It's important that we see the whole 3-view thing. If you right click it, you'll see this projected view here, or you can go ahead to select projected view or press P on your keyboard. So when you press P, you go into your projected view, you'll first have to select a parent view, which is your base view. And then as you can see, as you drag it around, you can place different views. So let's go ahead, we'll place our right side view, place our isometric view, and we'll place our top view. And then we will click escape or enter or whatever, and that will be there. So great. Now we've got our views. We do want to make sure that this one is shaded because we want our isometric view to be shaded. You can, move it however. But you could do that just by double clicking and changing the settings. So perfect. We're in a pretty good spot. Next up, we need to make sure that we are adding our dimensions. So you can do that manually, of course. You've got your dimensions. For more complicated things, and since you're going to be making this from a part that's already well defined, you can use the auto dimension tool. You just have to make sure that you are, moving things around for them to make sense. So if we do that here, we can see this like 3.5 is down here, and we want it to be in a different spot. So let's move that up. Let's move this over here. Let's move this. Fillet radius, that's what that is. Move that over here. We've got our 0.5, 0.1, our radius again. Here, this is 1.5. Okay, great. So we've got what we need in terms of our dimensions. This looks good. Now what we need to do is we are missing a couple things. So if you remember, we want to make sure that we have lines for these holes that are going through. And we do, you know, this is showing that we do have a line here. We do have a line here. We've got lines for our circles. But the proper notation of these lines is like dotted lines, and these are solid lines. And this is just like an annoying thing that can happen with like smaller looking things. You can actually just do that in document settings and change your line width group and just kind of play with your line type scale, make it a little bit smaller. Perfect. I mean, I just kind of guessed here, like 0.5 seems to have worked pretty well for this line and this bottom line here, as well as over here. Looks good. If you needed to add more, let's go ahead and go for a center line. We want a center line here, for example. We want one here. And, you know, maybe we want one here. I don't think we actually do, but let's just add them for the sake of adding them so I can show you how the feature works. But there you go. So once you've got all of your features added, let's make sure that I've covered everything here, line type scale. All right, we've also got this depth feature. So on the top view here, we know that there is a depth that this comes out, and we can figure out, you know, what that is, right? Like we can figure out the distance between here and here because we have this distance. But we also have to note that it's a depth. It's not a complete hole through the center. It's a depth that only goes in a certain amount. I think it was 0.5 inches. You'd have to double check. But there is a way to create a depth symbol. And what you want to do is you can just create it right in here in the diameter dimension, which only this 0.5 one is going in. But if you double click that dimension and you go in over here where it says insert symbol, you can add that depth symbol and add that it's 0.25 inches. And now we know that this part, like this middle circle here, is 0.5 inches in diameter, but it also goes in 0.25 inches or whatever it was. I think it was actually 0.5. You'd have to double check. So, is it? Yeah, if this is 2.5 and this is 1.5, yeah, it's 0.5 inches. So this just specifies here that this is a depth. It's going in something. There's a depth to this dimension that we have. And since it's mirrored on the bottom, it's inferred that that is the case. So when we've got everything done, this is shaded, all of our lines are included, all of our dimensions are included. We next have to make sure that we've got our titles correct. So if you like double click on here, you can change the title of this. Part drawing, maybe. You want to make sure that it has your name on it and everything. You don't need to worry about, you know, most of this stuff. You want to make sure that it's correctly titled. And then because, you know, notice that all of these dimensions make sense to us, but if you gave this to somebody, they wouldn't know what units it's in. So it's important that we add a box somewhere that tells us what the units are. So I'm going to go ahead and add a text box. There's just a text feature up here. I'm just going to add a little text box that tells us that our units are in inches. And now we are done with our drawing. Just make sure I didn't miss anything here. Great. Last step is going to be, we want to save this drawing. And there is an export button here. You can export this as a PDF. I'm going to want to export all sheets. I am going to, actually, I'm going to actually open it just so that you can see what it ends up turning out to be like. PDF of part drawing. And then you make sure you want to save it to a spot that makes sense. Save to my computer down here. You could specify where that is. Let's just save it here. There we go. And then it will go ahead and open the PDF. And there it is. Perfect. That's what it looks like. It's really important that you make sure that you save things in a way that makes sense, and in locations that you can find, because it's really easy to lose stuff. But yeah, there you go. That is how to create a simple drawing.